Good day, my dear learners. Today, we're going to discuss our Lesson 2, Week 2. This is actually the continuation of our lesson last week. So we are still in our MELC 17, which is to use appropriate grammatical signals or expressions suitable to each pattern of idea development. Last week, we discussed the two different patterns of idea development. So we have the first one, the claim and counterclaim, and the cause and effect. So for this week, we're going to discuss general to particular and problem solution. Under MELC 17, we do have two enabling competencies. The first one is to use appropriate modifiers, and the second one is to use appropriate logical connectors for emphasis. So our main lesson for this week is all about grammatical signals that are used for general to particular and problem solution. So again, general to particular and problem solution are the two patterns of idea development that we're going to discuss for today. Okay, so before we begin, I will give you 10 seconds to grab a pen and a paper. Your 10 seconds starts now. Okay, so I hope that you already have your pen and paper with you. Now let's do this learning task 1. So all you need to do is to just simply write the letter of the word that correctly identifies the type of idea development described. No need to encircle, okay? So in your pen, using your pen and paper, just simply write the letter. Okay, letter of the word that correctly identifies the type of idea development described. Okay, so let's begin. Number 1. When you read this write-up, it discusses the reason for something and the result. This is the most common form of idea development. Just simply write the letter. Is it A, cause effect, B, problem solution, C, general particular, or letter D, claim counterclaim? Okay, so let's check right away. If you wrote in your paper there letter A, you are correct. Good job. So that's cause and effect. So cause and effect discusses the reason for something and the result. Good job. Now let's proceed on the next one. Number 2. In this type of writing, the writer states his or her point or opinion or oppose others' beliefs. Is it A, cause effect, B, problem solution, C, general particular, or letter D, claim counterclaim? Okay, so if you wrote in your paper letter D, so that's the correct answer. Claim, counterclaim. So it is where the writer states his or her opinion or point, and then the writer also opposes others' beliefs. So that's claim and counterclaim. Next item, number 3. What type of writing discusses a broad topic by using specific details that support the topic? I will repeat. What type of writing discusses a broad topic by using specific details that support the topic? Is it A, cause effect, B, problem solution, C, general particular, or letter D, claim counterclaim? Okay, so let's see. Did you write in your paper letter C? If that's so, you are correct. Great job. So it's general particular. So general particular discusses a broad topic by using specific details that support the topic. Don't you worry, we're going to discuss general particular further. Okay? Next, number 4. Which of the following types of idea development presents a timely or important issue and provides answers to it? Which of the following types of idea development presents a timely or important issue and provides answers to it? Is it A, cause-effect, B, problem-solution, C, general-particular, or D, claim-counterclaim? Okay, did you answer letter B, problem-solution? You are again correct. Good job. So it's problem solution. It presents a timely or important issue and of course provides answers to it. So that's problem solution. Now let's go to the last item, number 5. What do you call to the words or expressions that are used to connect ideas to attain coherence? Again, what do you call to the words or expressions that are used to connect ideas to attain coherence? Is it A, grammatical structures, B, prepositions, C, adjectives, or letter D, grammatical signals? Okay, did you answer letter D? If that's so again, correct. Good job. So that's grammatical signals. Okay, so I want you to count all of your correct answers over 5. Congratulations. The passing score, by the way, is 3. In continuation with last week's topic, another 2 grammatical signals or expressions will be presented in this lesson. Let us see if the signals can be used in multiple patterns of idea development. Again, let's have a quick review on the patterns of idea development. The first one is cause-effect. Second, claim and counterclaim. Third, general to particular. And fourth is problem solution. If you can still remember cause and effect, we give the reason for the cause and we give the result for effect. And then for number 2, we have claim and counterclaim. So when we say claim, it is an opinion, but it is not just an opinion because you are basing your opinion or your claim on your knowledge or your research. While counterclaim is the opposite of claim. Okay, so it disagrees with with the opinion of someone. That is why it is called counterclaim. So today, we're going to focus on general to particular and problem solution. What are the possible grammatical signals or expressions that we can use, okay, in these patterns of idea development? So let's discuss the first pattern that we're going to discuss for this day. We have general to particular. So general to particular is the idea development discusses a broad topic using specific details that supports the topic. In composition, general to particular is a method of developing a paragraph, essay, or speech by moving from a broad observation about a topic to particular details in support of that topic. Okay, so I hope that we are all familiar with the term general. So general is the opposite of specific. Okay, so we are giving broad statement. We are giving unspecific statement. So that's general. Then from being general, we go to particular. So we give now specific details that could support the general topic. Okay? Okay, so before we go to different sentences, okay, example sentences of general to particular. Let's have these examples first. Okay, of general to particular. So we have here seasons. Okay, so seasons is the general idea. Okay, so it's general. So we all know that in the Philippines, we do have only two seasons. Diba? We have the rainy season and the dry season. But in other countries, okay, they do have four seasons. So again, seasons there is the general. Now we give the particular seasons. So from general seasons, we give particular. Okay, examples of seasons. We have spring, fall, and winter. Okay, we have spring, fall, winter. And what do you think is the last season? Are you thinking of summer? Yes. Okay, so that's the last particular answer of seasons. Okay, so we have here spring, summer, fall, and winter. We have the particular examples of seasons. So seasons is the general, and then while spring, summer, fall, and winter are particular. Another example, we have A, E, I, O, and U. What do you think are A, E, I, O, and U? Are they general or particular? Okay, so I hope that your answer is particular. So those are particular examples of what? Of the general, okay, vowels. So vowels there is general, then you give examples of vowels, okay, which lead to being particular. So A, E, I, O, and U. So I hope that you're getting the main point of general to particular. Okay, so in writing statements showing general to particular ideas, these are the following grammatical signals that we can use. So the first one, to give an example. So from general, we're being particular. So how are we going to be particular? By giving examples. So what are the grammatical signals that we can use? We have for example, for instance, such as, like, in this case, to demonstrate. We can also use the grammatical signals to show order of importance. Above all, first and foremost, primarily, a more important, the most important, and the primary. We can also use these grammatical signals to show chronological order. Okay, we have first, second, third, fourth, etc. First of all, then, now, soon, finally, previously, meanwhile, gradually, after, while, as soon as, before, since, until, and when. So those are the different grammatical signals that we can use for general to particular pattern. Okay, it's either we give an example, it's either we give order of importance, or we give chronological order. Let's have our first example of general to particular. Many diseases originally came from animals. An example of these is COVID-19, which has turned into a pandemic this year. Okay, so what do you think first is the grammatical signal that we used in this sentence? Okay, so the grammatical signal that we used is an example of this. Okay, so an example of this. So this is the grammatical signal. Okay, and what do you think is the general statement? It is a broad topic. Is your answer many diseases originally came from animals? You are correct. So that's the general idea or a statement that many diseases originally came from animals. So that's kind of broad. Okay, that many diseases. Now, if you want to be particular, so since we use the grammatical signal, an example of these, which is we're giving an example, so from being general, we have our example of one of the diseases that originally came from animals, which is the COVID-19. So COVID-19 is the particular example of diseases originally came from animals. So COVID-19, which has turned into a pandemic this year, is now the particular idea. So, general, broad topic that there are many diseases originally came from animals. You're giving example, so you use grammatical signal, an example of these. And then we have here the particular example of that disease, which is COVID-19. So that's general to particular. Okay, so aside from the example of sentence a while ago, let's discuss the general statements. Okay, so general statements are usually the topic sentence or the main idea of the paragraph, while specific statements are the supporting information for the topic sentence or main idea. So in short, when we say general statements, we give broad ideas or broad statements supported with specific or particular statements. Okay, so we give general idea or statement, then we support the general statement using the specific statements. So these are the supporting information that could support our general statements. So example of these is general statement. We have birds are insect controllers. So that's the topic, the main topic or the topic sentence. Birds are insect controllers. Okay, to give particular statements that could support your general statement, we have here a 3-ounce baby bird will eat 5.5 ounces of insects. And the second one is birds eat almost twice their own weight. Okay, so if we're going to make an example of a sentence with general to particular using the given examples a while ago, so this will be the sentences. Okay, so birds are insect controllers. So again, so that is the general idea or the general statement. Okay, and then to support our general statement, we have to give particular statements or specific statements. So in order for us to connect those, we have to use grammatical signals. Okay, so I have here, for instance, because it gives an example. Okay, it gives a supporting evidence that birds are insect controllers. So for instance, a 3-ounce baby bird will eat 5.5 ounces of insects. In this case, birds eat almost twice their own weight. So for instance, and in this case, are two grammatical signals that can be used for general to particular. Okay, so we connect different ideas. We connect the general idea or the general statement to its specific or particular statements using grammatical signals. Okay, because we have here the general to particular. Okay. Okay. Now, I hope that you don't have any confusion or question about general to particular. If so, if there is a question that bothers you, just simply ask me in my messenger so I can entertain your question. Okay? So now let's proceed on the next pattern, the last pattern, which is the problem and solution. So this is very simple actually. We're in for problem and then you give solution. Okay, but to be specific, problem and solution is a pattern of organization where information in a write-up is expressed as a dilemma or concerning issue, which is the problem, and something that was or can be or should be done to remedy this issue, which is the solution. Okay, so we have here the dilemma or concerning issue, which is the problem, and we also have here the remedy. Okay, remedy to this issue, which is the solution. The problem and solution pattern is one method of organization composed of two main sections. We have, of course, the problem and the solution. Okay, so these are the grammatical signals that we can use showing problem and solution. So the first one is to show order of importance. We have here above all, first and foremost, primarily, a more important, the most important, and the primary. So as what you have noticed, we can also use these grammatical signals for particular or for general to particular. Okay? In short, there are grammatical signals that we can use in any different patterns. So to show order of importance can be used in general to particular and problem and solution. Okay, and then also we have here the grammatical signals that show to conclude, not our grammatical signals that are used to conclude. So we have all, in brief, in conclusion, in short, in summary, to summarize, to conclude. It is clear that we can see that the evidence suggests, these examples show. So those are the grammatical signals that we use, again, for problem and solution. Okay, so let's have here the first example of sentence. Employees from various sectors were laid off from their jobs. As a response, the government provided cash assistance. What do you think is the grammatical signal used? So it is as a response. As a response is a grammatical signal used for problem solution. Ma'am, it is not included in the example of grammatical signals that you showed. Okay, actually this is one of the common or most common examples of grammatical signal that we can use for problem solution. It is really evident that we're giving solution here. Okay, so as a response. So as a response to the problem, so we give the solution. Okay, so that is a grammatical signal that we use. Now, what do you think is the problem being stated in the sentence? Okay, so the problem is employees from various sectors were laid off from their jobs. So that's the problem. So what do you think is the solution here? Of course, we have the government provided cash assistance. So that's the solution. So we provide the problem, okay? Then we use the grammatical signal as a response, okay, to address the problem, and we give now the solution. So that's an example of a problem solution. Okay, so let's have another example of a sentence with problem solution. Other students have no access to the internet. Primarily, modular-based learning is an option for them. Okay, so what do you think is the grammatical signal used in this sentence? Okay, so if you answer primarily, correct. Primarily is the grammatical signal that we used. Now, what do you think is the problem being stated in the sentence? If you answer, other students have no access to the internet, you are correct again. So that's the problem, that other students have no access to the internet. So what is the provided solution for that problem? Of course, we have modular-based learning is an option for them. So that's the solution. So we use primarily as the grammatical signal, okay, for this example, okay, to show the order of importance. So that's the grammatical signal primarily. Okay. Okay, so that's end of our discussion about the problem solution. So if you have questions that you would like to clarify, that you would like to ask me, just simply send me a private message to my messenger account. Okay, so let's proceed on our learning task 2. So using the same paper and pen, analyze the following sentences. Write Jen if the underlined part of the sentence expresses general thought or general idea or general statement. So Jen for general. While party if the phrase states particular thought or particular statement or particular idea. Okay? So number 1. In this time of the pandemic, individuals find ways to seek income even in quarantine. The first obvious example is online selling. So the underlined part of the sentence is obvious example is online selling. Is that gen? Is that a general thought or party, a particular thought? Okay. Number 2, online sellers have sold a lot of products to online customers. For example, different foods such as budin, palabok, leche flan, even breads are sold. So, the underlined part of the sentence is a lot of products. Okay, so what do you think is a lot of products? Is that gen for general thought or party, particular thought? Okay, let's proceed now. Let's proceed now on number 3. Filipinos inside their homes can still shop through online shopping sites. Now, a baker can find materials and ingredients for baking through sites such as Shopee and Lazada. So the underlined part is such as Shopee and Lazada. Is that gen, general, or party, particular? Okay, number 4. Restaurants now offer takeout orders. Previously, most establishments only cater to dine-in orders. So the underlined part is restaurants. Is that general, or party, particular? Restaurants. Okay, now let's proceed on the last one. With this growing number of people and businesses doing their services online, new policies from the government are implemented, like demanding sellers to post their items' prices instead of personal messages to customers. So the underlined part is new policies from the government. New policies from the government. Is that general, or party, specific or particular? Okay, so after learning task 2, let's proceed on learning task 3. Analyze the following sentences. Underline the part of the sentence expressing the problem. This time you're going to underline the part of the sentence expressing the problem. Meanwhile, encircle the phrase stating solution. Underline the problem, encircle the solution. Number 1. So this would be a copy and answer. Okay, so you have to copy all of the sentences and then underline the part of the sentence expressing the problem and encircle the phrase stating the solution. Okay, number 1. President Duterte said that face-to-face learning in schools is not an option unless a vaccine is already available. It is clear that schools can only use modules or online for teaching. Okay, if you're not yet done, because you have to rewrite the sentence or the sentences, it's okay. Okay, all you need to do is to stop the video. Then once you're done, you can now play it again. Okay, so number 2, let's proceed on number 2. Some teachers are not yet adept with online teaching. In short, they must be oriented in teaching using apps, sites, and other resources from the internet. Okay, number 3, students will learn inside their own homes. we can see that parents and guardians will definitely have a part in teaching their children. Then number 4, Department of Education may face certain problems in implementing education in the next school year. The most important decision is to involve local government units and stakeholders. Okay, so we are going to check your answers next week during our online class. Okay, so just keep your paper, keep your answers, and the next week we're going to check them. So now let's proceed on assimilation part. Okay, this is the generalization of the patterns that we discussed. This is the generalization of the grammatical signals that we discussed. So again, there are 4 patterns of idea development. The first one is the cause and effect. This is the most common form of organization in writing. So when we say cause, we give the reason. Then when we say effect, we give the results. So the grammatical signals that we use are for, because, since, as a result, and hence. So these are just some of the grammatical signals used. So if you want to have the complete list of grammatical signals, you can go back to the slides that I sent to your GC. Okay, so there you can see there the complete list of grammatical signals used for cause and effects. Next idea pattern is the claim and counterclaim. So structure of an argument where there is more than one side to a debate. Okay, there will be a debate in claim and counterclaim because someone is giving his or her opinion based on his knowledge or research, and someone is counterclaiming the claim. Someone is disagreeing. Okay? So, counterclaim is the opposite of claim. So, what are the grammatical signals? We have however, but, while, whereas, and on the other hand. Same thing with cause and effect. This is just some of the grammatical signals that we can use for claim and counterclaim. For a complete list, you can go back to your GC, okay, wherein I sent there the complete list of grammatical signals used, okay, for claim and counterclaim and cause and effects. Then, the third pattern is the problem and solution. So, establishing that a problem exists, then providing a solution. The grammatical signals that we used are just some, okay, some grammatical signals that we use are all in all, in short, to conclude, in summary, and above all. Last but not the least, we have the last pattern, general to particular, moving from a broad topic to specific details in support of that idea. Okay, so from being general to particular, or from being broad to specific. These are the some of grammatical signals that we use. We have, for example, for instance, like, to demonstrate, and such as. We also learn in this lesson that there are some grammatical signals that we can use in problem and solution and in general to particular. Okay, so we can use the grammatical signals um, that show the importance of order. So importance of order, such as primarily, the most important, so on and so forth. So we can use those grammatical signals in both problem and solution and general to particular. Okay, so that ends my discussion for our week 2, lesson 2 for the 4th quarter period. Again, if you have questions, just simply message me in my messenger account. Okay, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something today.